kind of unit so that then you are able to relate some of the concepts that you come across or you have interacted with during your earlier courses that you have done. So that's why I occasionally talk about concepts and then reach somewhere I give you a paper to read. So um, today I want us to reflect on another section, more specifically another topic different from the one that we did. So I hope everyone will find time to those sections where I say task 2, task 3, you are able to keep pace. Otherwise, you may find yourself maybe missing one or two things. I want to talk about technologies and trends. This is one of the units that rather one of the topics that is extensive. For those who went to the e-learning, you'll note there's a lot of subsections that we will need to discuss. And this is one of the units, rather one of the topics that I'll hope every one of us will have a chance to contribute and be able to say something. This is purely reflecting on where technology has come from, where technology is, and where technology is likely to go. And there are many ways in which we can actually look at it. I teach a unit on emerging trends, the master's students, but this is slightly different from it, but the whole reasoning about the two is really a question on the applications. And so what I propose here that we cover touches on the social aspects, having divined the social tech perspective in chapter 1. So here we want to anchor it a little bit better. For instance, we want to look at how sociable is a technology. How has technology affected our social life? Then we also look at community. So I'm going to describe these things as they are in the e-learning. So let me project it there so that then you can actually be able to see in a minute.
I am back to analyze another pool. Japanese invitational center. This time, Abadongo 1 going all Palutena. If you haven't seen the first part of the video, I'd recommend watching that first because it explains how pools and final fractals work. Also, sorry in advance, I feel like the in-game audio was louder than I thought, and I once again have the webcam in the bottom center of the video. This should be the last video I do like this to have those issues though. If you want to check out the bottom,
now everyone is able to see my screen.
Also, if you like the content, please drop a like. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. It helps the channel out a lot.
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. That is what we call the sociability of this technology.
This is actually very difficult. I
Perhaps you not come across this kind of divination of the social aspect of technology.
So few options he
But
had.
in this case, we want to talk about
That's like one of his biggest flaws is versus
how
Montana is so much.
sociable is the
So
technology.
let's say that Ness is
Yeah,
a
we
number
talk
one
about
power,
social
right?
technology
All I have to do is
um,
let's
in
say
terms of
Ness goes for like
giving
the
us a
handoff.
set of effective usage of this technology to enhance the social being or to bring about intended outcomes and then to affect the human beings or to have an impact of human beings and also to establish what we call social groups or impact the social groups, define the way people behave within those social groups, and also determine what we call the social structures. So it's a little tour of many things. So here we start actually talking about I exist in a chat group or in our subgroup. If you look at the chat groups and the various chat platforms, they bring in that element what we call the the social aspect because ordinarily people could interact without the use of those technologies, but now technology has come to assist this. So how has therefore technology affected the interactions of people and how people interact. That is what you will hear a little bit more on what we call social ability. The next thing is community. What is this that we talk about community? Now, a community is defined by what we call interactions and cultures. I've talked about structures. So various communities exist because they have certain ways of doing things, certain practices of doing things. So that is the way in which we look at community. So I wouldn't want you to look at, let's say, if somebody is staying in Madaraka, where our university is located, then you say that community in Madaraka. That will be from the social science perspective of defining community. But in respect to technology, we normally say technology has defined some aspects in which people interact. Has defined a group of people. That's when you find that now we have a community of bloggers. You can see we are talking about blogging here, microblogging. So you'll find that the people who exist in that kind of technology platform, who call themselves bloggers, and others have even formed what we call associations, you realize that they have specific tenets. They have specific, or something actually defines them. So in our community, we also talk about that they are defined by specific aspects. And so we'll also be looking at this in a little bit extensive manner. The other thing that we also look at is collaboration. How has technology changed the way in which people collaborate? So here we are talking about sharing of activities. Um, Everyone here maybe has used what we call GitHubs. GitHubs have been used quite extensively for actually uh, people working on the same project, not necessarily being seated in the same place, but they're working together. I think the first time I interacted with collaborative working, these platforms never used to be there. I think that was way back. I'm trying to give this as a say that then you understand how technology has changed and has changed the way in which we do things. I think in the year 2007, yes, I had a team of students who are in the same level. They were doing a major of information technology. I was in I think JQuat then. So we went somewhere to the former telecommunication, before it was sold to become Orange. And that was, we went to see how developers work there, and to understand collaborative working. And what we were doing then is that they had different teams. One team is working on a particular module, another team is working on another module, and they had around 6 teams working in different modules. And then, but they used to have one way in which they will come. It was, I think, on a Thursday, where everyone would now, the various teams would come together now to do the presentation of whatever they were doing, and then try to see how the various modules they were working can be integrated. Now, you can agree with me that that was quite a slow or a task, because sometimes because various teams are working differently and not seeing what each person is doing, then when it comes to integration of such kind of systems, it becomes a bit of a problem. So thanks to the many platforms that are existing these days, whereby you are able, as you work on maybe your section, another person is working on the other section, and then you are able to work in a collaborative manner. That's one way in which you look at this technology, and there are many other ways in which you can actually look. Technology has changed the way we work in a collaborative manner. Communication, I don't think there is much I can talk about here, but reflect a little more on the tools that have been used in communication. What's more important is how has it changed over a period of time, and what are the tools that are there. Now, we recognize that different tools will be compatible for different environments. Blogging, so some of the subsections that you'll want to look at under communication, look at blogging and microblogging. I'm sure most of, maybe a number of you, let me not use the word most, a number of you are in that, space of blogging. Others are in the space of gaming. I think I'm yet to know the interest of most of you, but I think the first, I think, yeah, the first group of informatics that taught, of course, they were not doing social informatics, but there is one unit that were doing on gaming, not informatics, I think. That was 2014. I think they did one unit, special units, or what we used to call the special topics on games. Um, I know men actually will say, games is actually, I create a game. But remember, game is a form of communication. How do we use games for communication? These days, I think many people are actually making a living out of gaming. I know one student from that branch who actually has gone ahead and created a number of games. She's making actually a living out of it, and good, good initiative. Like now during this COVID situation, I'm sure many people would have wanted, and even going forward, different games people can actually play to ensure that they are distracted. Photo file sharing, I think you've known this. You've done this a little. I don't need to talk about this digital storytelling. I'm not sure whether this one you've done this a little bit more, but I will. I'm giving you materials shortly. The other thing that I will note today, and which you are going also we are going to cover, is what we call the digital divide. Um, you recognize right now technology has tried to narrow what we call, divide, but has also created another digital divide. And this is one of the challenges that we have. I know people would actually say, no, it has, it has created, a, a society which is uniform. Apart from the truth, there's still what we call digital divide. You realize that you, as people in IT, you could be very literate in most of these things and very much aware of the technology. But there are people who have no clue
Okay, guys, so this is going to be
about
our
this
puppy test.
technology.
First puppy,
So you realize that as new technology is coming,
over the
you are
threshold.
right to get it
Dog has never been in
faster
before. As you
and
can see,
moving.
that puppy aced
The
it.
other ones
Right
are
in, no
still
problem.
there. So you realize
As
that there
the
is
first
a
puppy walks into
huge
the room, the first test
digital
is going over
divide.
the threshold.
And I must indicate that
The
it's
dog
not
has
only
never
here
been
in
before.
Kenya.
As you can see, that puppy aced it.
It is
Walked
there
right in,
also
no
in
problem.
those developed
You
countries.
know, he
Very serious one.
behavior
I'm
is
sure if I tell you that there are some places, even those developed countries,
shutting down.
um, yeah, where people cannot read and write.
From a
Yeah,
hand,
so it's still a challenge. Democracy and politics.
if the puppy has
I
the full
think,
five teeth
yeah,
of the hand,
you
eating
guys were
environment that you're
around
putting it before. A lot of puppies, if they don't have
20,
much
I
food
think,
drive, you're going to see the second you change up the
26,
environment, even if they're hungry,
2013, yeah,
they'll be completely
20,
subsumed by being in that new place, and that'll be
2012,
all they don't
2013
even
campaign,
have
then a
interest
little bit of it in
in. See this little
2017,
once he figured out that there's no
or you can
his
read a
hand,
little more,
you
more
know,
on
he's following the trainer.
Cambridge,
He's
Cambridge
eating a
Analytica,
little bit,
which
he's
played a significant
exploring,
role
not crawling on
in,
his belly or hesitating.
what we call
You'll see a
political,
pup that has environmental
uh,
issues. Environmental is really vague.
focusing
A
of the
lot of dogs
political
have environmental issues
directions and discourse
that
in
you
this
see up right
country.
from 6 weeks old.
You
So these
could be
this male
aware
puppy
of
is 6 weeks. What we're
what's
doing this
happening in the
test.
American arena.
Yeah, you know, you can see
You
that
had,
he has the drive to eat.
them talking about
He's exploring. I just threw a jug,
what
and he had no problem. This
attacks
jug is
or
full of
infiltration
makes quite a loud rattling noise.
by the
And
other countries affecting their
dog has very
democracy.
little
In
interest
Kenya, you
in the other
remember
jug.
in
As you
the
can see, he runs
disputed
actually right by it.
general
There's
election, which
a lot
ended
of dogs will avoid it. I
at the
kicked it.
Supreme Court.
And I'm just kind of
There was
when they actually
the
kick you, my
discussion that
kicking is
perhaps,
loud.
there was
You know, he didn't really care.
technology
Now we're going to do the prey drive
had
test,
been
just a little
used to affect, the
relaxing
outcome,
case. It even dogs
and all these
prey
things.
drive.
So you realize, therefore,
Do it anyway.
technology has also
There he has
entered into this. You remember,
and biting. He has
the
nice,
case ended in the
nice grip.
court,
He's
and
already showing a very full
IT
brain.
people had to
I would say
maybe
dominant
be
grip.
called
This is the
upon to
kind of
give
behavior that I want to see in a dog.
a story, or
Biting.
to,
He's not shifting
to say
around. He's not
something.
too hectic. He's just full.
The other thing that we'll also be talking about here is privacy,
You know, so
censorship, and
this
digital
very
rights management,
this puppy's actually
DRM.
quite
Um,
powerful
so privacy in
biter.
here, I'll be giving you a
Grips on this dog are going to be
document
phenomenal.
again to read
These are
on
6 month
that,
old puppies.
which it
I'm
touches
real
also
happy
to
to see this
copyright and
basically.
Creative Commons.
A lot of
But let me
dogs
talk
won't
about
really show you
privacy
much,
first.
anything.
In
It's
Kenya, there is
there you go.
an
He just
act,
comes off when I lift him
Data
off the
Protection
ground.
Act,
It's at that much, so he
that
pissed off.
talks about
I'm going to re-engage him here.
privacy of individuals and other
Again,
things.
you know,
It talks about
it's
which
really
data one
kind
is
of see
supposed
like
to
where the
reveal and which
thresholds
one
are, what he's
does
willing to do. If I
somebody
made him miss a whole bunch of
not
time.
reveal.
Now a dog with a male
Censorship is where what you put out there is determined by
it's
maybe
going to be really easy to
the
do that.
state. Quite often
As
you
you can see,
find
this
that the
guy
state
re-engaged that ray.
is what
He misses it a bunch of
defines
times.
this.
He stays
There
on.
are countries which are
Really
known
getting it.
to have very stringent laws that
So
tell
right
you
there,
to
you
put
know,
out
he's been
something.
lifting him up.
You have to get the permission.
That behavior,
That is what we call censorship. They
full
determine
hard
what
grips.
you are to put.
You know,
out as technology enhanced this.
And
Sure,
this is what I want to
it
see.
has even
Braid drive.
gone
I've never
unnoticed.
seen more braid drive.
I know of
Like
one
those
student,
navy white.
Suarez,
Really like.
just
So we'll
finished
see how this dog goes up. But
his master's here, master's in
grips that this pup has. So
what?
this
Master's
is
in business administration, but he was focusing on what you call the technology, role of technology in
There you go. Nice behavior.
supply chain management.
This whip. Volume's
So
video, but this whip
this
makes
gentleman, he comes from one country,
so listen carefully.
specifically he comes from China,
And you
but he was actually
can't
doing
change
the
the dog's behavior.
course
I
here.
start cracking that whip right
But
now.
you
Right.
see,
Sounds like a gunshot.
we communicate using official what? Official email, like the one that you're
This
at
is
the
really
university.
good. Like this dog. Look at that. Like no.
When he goes to his country, he can't use that.
That's
He
exactly
can't
what I
use
want to see. Social behavior with other dogs.
any
Doesn't
Gmail
matter. I want to see it. I don't
because
see this dog.
I think Gmail is banned in their country.
Like look at him. He's getting from this
That's
other
number
dog.
one.
And
So
he
he
just
has again, when he reaches there, he has to say, sorry, now,
social.
every now and again you'll say, now, don't use that email. I can't get I cannot be allowed to open it. Now use this other email. So what happens then, why is it that? Is because
this dog is really
everything that you
not much
communicate has to pass through somewhere where it's,
puppy number 2 walks in.
the state is able to know
Social behavior.
communications
I
and
like how
other
he
things.
walks in the room.
Even when now it comes to where he communicates,
Yeah,
even
so
he
he's a little bit hesitant
consults
about the
in
trainer.
research,
So it's very
you
different
see he's a
if you're
bit
there.
restricted.
He's smelling the food.
So what has happened?
But he really
So
actually isn't
technology
getting
has
here.
been used to do that.
So,
Now,
still like the environmental.
you are aware in our constitution,
Walked in that room.
you hear
He's
everybody
willing to
talking about
move. He's again
Article
not
2 and
hugging
such
the
kind of
ground. His
things.
tails.
But
His
generally,
tail's
let's talk
wagging,
about
he's
the
still fairly
article that talks about human rights and
watchful of the
the
environment.
rights.
You know,
The question
everything
is, do you have digital rights? The answer is yes.
the way that it should look.
Has technology been used to manage
Again, you're
those
seeing
rights? The answer is
dog
yes.
more
How has
interested in
it
the
been
environment.
used? You will hear it
Now things can change,
actually
of
in a
course.
particular paper that I want
Nothing
to
is written in
analyze.
stone, but
Now,
I
copyright
really
and the Creative
know
Commons.
a lot of what the dog is.
This is where now, for instance,
Oh, look at that.
when
Right?
you talk about
Very
copyright,
intimidated by that
like
other dog.
if you come up with a piece of
See,
writing, the original
he has quite a
writing,
strong reaction to that other
that's
dog,
like your
offering
copyright.
him that play
I mean,
behavior.
you
And
own
that,
the copy.
tells you a little bit
You
about
own the
level
copy.
of
It's your right.
the
That's why
social
it's called
confidence he
copyright.
has, right? There's environmental
Now,
confidence, the confidence
that means, therefore, sometimes you can actually say whoever is going to actually
people and
use
social
this
confidence
material
with
must use for
dogs.
particular intended,
So again, we're offering, you're giving him a
and
chance.
also ensure that acknowledges you or acknowledge, such kind of things. That's why we talk about you
Kind of
cite
munched
what
there, but there's really
you picked from somebody's work.
the way that you saw it.
But then
There's food on the ground.
this copyright
Not much there. So
issues have become very, very serious. I'll give an example of one student who did his master's here,
No, I'm gonna throw it.
and he didn't know somebody else somewhere
Again, it's not a horrific reaction.
in
I've seen puppies way worse.
Eastern Europe had actually used the same name, like the name he gave his project. He had done a fantastic job.
So here's the
He was very good in his research.
You're seeing some
But the mistake he did, he used a name which somebody else had used.
much. So he has some interest
And
in it,
I
but it's
think
not like
1 year later,
not to the point where he's going to
we
bite.
see somebody from that country complain, there's this gentleman
that he has to bite
who
about his prey drive. So puppy
who came to my, who used
litter,
what?
walks right
Who
into
used the name
quite
which
nice.
I own.
Avoids the drive that
And
he
so
has to
that
bite that
becomes,
rag. So that
a
tells me something
copyright
about his prey.
issue.
So puppy number 3.
You remember,
Wow,
I don't know whether you are aware, there's this name, there's this basket
Avoids the dog a
made
little bit,
from,
not too much. Like still a nice
actually,
behavior.
from central Kenya,
Willing to run back into the room. Let's see if he
actually
wants.
an artifact of the Akikuyu community.
There
what
you
is
go. See,
called,
look, this was better
I
than
may
the
not
last
be able
puppy.
to pronounce
A
it
little
very
bit
well,
more. He
but
does
then it's called
go
Kyondo.
unfold, and
Now, of
willing to
course, I know
make it
it will
there,
be
and
pronounced
that
differently.
social interaction that you have, that tells you,
But then
probably
when you go into the internet, you realize that this
experience
Kyondo is
for him
already
using.
patented
See again, like the
by
hesitation.
Chinese,
It's a little bit of a
and
different
they actually
third
say
side
this
between
is
puppy
theirs.
and puppy number two.
I remember people like, no, no,
Take
no, this is,
dog down. We're gonna give him
our original thing. But right now, if you are to use that name
that
to refer to a
big
basket,
food drive.
you must actually be able to make
And by the
reference
way,
that
when I say
it
food
is
drive,
from,
I'm talking like working
from
dog also
something.
eats,
So
right?
that
A
is what
little
we
bit.
call copyright.
And you can see
Now, what
actually has
has
more
actually
interest
happened
in
is
the
what now
trainer
called
than he does in
Creative
the food.
Commons.
So
Now,
this is a
Creative
dog that'll
Commons
probably be
is
very
like
camera focused.
you've seen
You
these
know, that
systems which
will
are done using
want that reassurance and that relationship with the
you
handler.
know, open
The handler
source
make the dog's
trust
drop. He
you
sees
know,
the bucket. He's like, oh, what's
framework
that? But he's willing to
whereby
investigate
nobody
over
can
puppies.
create
His slight
claim
insecurity.
ownership
Noise doesn't bother him that much. He's showing
such that
behavior.
the code is
Yeah,
there
this is good.
and
So you can see like
anything
he bounces
about that
back from
system
that slight
exists. So
noise, like
that
jug,
gives
rattle jug.
now that
Barely bothers him.
I
Great drive
you
test.
can pick it and anybody can pick it and use
You know,
it.
again,
So
he'd rather
that's
interact
now
with the trainer
the
than
way in which
with
now
the
you
rag.
overcome the challenges
Doesn't
of
mean, by the
copyright
way,
is through
that
what you call it Creative Commons. So it is a whole interesting topic which requires a lot
has
of reading to
that
understand.
right now that
So
drive
what have I done?
high,
I have actually
and it can become higher
decided
later on.
I will give you a
This
very
is
interesting paper
puppy number
which has been done by
again.
some
The
other
door's kind of closing here, so
scholars
and he walks in again.
who have
Doesn't
researched
change. It's really
in
important.
all those
Cross the threshold.
things,
Tells you a lot about
and partly they also cover this.
right. If the dog
Maybe I
stays at the
can
threshold,
project that one. I hope
it's
you're able to see my
definitely a
screen
warning sign. So here he sees that
on
dog
the paper
low,
that I've
right? But
put
right
there.
back in there, he
Yes,
bounces
yes,
right
sure.
back, showing
Yeah.
very good behavior. He's almost as good as puppy number one here. He's getting kind of beat up a little bit
Okay.
again,
Yeah,
but he
there
doesn't
it is.
care. He's willing to get down.
So this particular paper is a bit lengthy than the other one you read. The other one you read was 4 pages. Huh? This one is a little bit lengthy. It talks about all those. That's why we are talking about this is social technology. That inside at
Handle
the
environmental
center is
stress
what we call the
and bounce
social
back very
technology.
fast and stay
Okay.
functional.
So we ask ourselves, what are those social
So let's
technologies?
see. Oh yeah. So this dog,
Then when you go a little bit outside,
this
you
dog is showing
start
the
seeing
same kind
e-business
of food
tools,
drive that we saw in
e-government
puppy
tools,
number one.
e-community
He's even getting
tools.
it off the floor.
I've talked about
Puppy number
community.
one in the food drive
Okay.
department.
Um, Once you get these things, we'll be talking about very interesting things actually here. Then outside there, then now you start seeing, various artifacts or various outcomes. You start seeing, social gaming. I've talked about games, social art. I think there was a student who was trying to do this, and I encouraged her to do this, for a master, for an undergraduate. She tried to do it, I think anyone who can extend. This is a very interesting research area for anyone of social art. Okay. There's online learning systems, you know, social networks, them e-democracy tools.
So and
Like
see if he can
right now,
trainer there.
when we talk about e-democracy
Immediately.
tools, we are talking
Okay,
about
now we just call him back.
the electronic
But
voting
distract him if
system
it's a
that
new
has
place.
failed in Kenya. I don't know whether it has
There you go,
succeeded.
buddy.
I'm not sure.
All right.
Let
And we'll
me
throw the
hear
jug. Look at that. Perfect.
from one of
He
you
saw it coming the whole time.
who can tell us whether it has
This is
succeeded.
very nice
Let's
behavior
find
on the
out
jug.
from
As you can see,
Stacy.
just about as good as puppy number
E-democracy
one was
succeeded in Kenya.
in terms of, the startle and everything else.
Um,
So,
from what I know,
Hmm.
I haven't seen e-democracy working very much in Kenya.
Mhm.
Yes, whenever they try implement platforms that can support e-democracy, a lot of times we see discrepancies, and also they claim to have failures, and they don't
interest
account
right
for
away.
failures.
See
So
ya.
that's why I feel like
But at the
we
end
are
of
not
the
yet
day,
there with e-democracy in Kenya.
Oh, great. I really wish we could have, in fact, what we call Anyway, I hope this corona will go. This is one thing I would have actually hosted what we call around, can we call it round table discussion, and we invite people to reason from you. The statement you actually put very nice, and I wish people would actually look at it. But then now we move to the next. Why is it that it has failed in Kenya? Who can tell us? Yes, Daniel. Oh, so sorry, we lost Daniel. No, yes, I can't hear you, Daniel. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
I think e-democracy has failed generally, okay, in Kenya,
Yeah.
because I think for e-democracy to work, it requires a high level of trust, which is not easily found amongst human beings. So we would need systems that um, could be trusted without the input from human beings. Basically, completely autonomous trust systems.
Mhm. Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. In fact, I participated in drafting the strategy for this country. We call it IT strategy. Yeah. In one of the pillars, when you are drafting a strategy, you look at what you call, we talk about foundation. Just imagine a house. Just imagine a house has foundation, then has the walls. Those walls, we can actually look at them as what we call the pillars. So one of the pillar is what we call values, um, attitude, and in fact, in it, we talk about trust. And so you realize that, and I'm sure most of you, Jumia, I don't think it's a Kenyan thing, but I'm sure if that company had actually said, no, 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 it's owned by Omega from, the land of Matoke, everybody would be like, no, 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 we don't trust it. You understand this? So you are very right. Trust. Trust is both human, and also there is, do we trust the technology? This is the issue. Is a really serious issue. Yes, Afani.
I was also thinking about the digital inclusion in Kenya is very poor because of the big gap between um, the first class and the low class, and even the first class and the middle class. There's a very big difference between the the there's a big difference between those two classes, and this is going to bring a bit of lack of participation, equal participation for all citizens, considering the income level, the education levels, yeah, and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Thank you. And in fact, that actually also tends also to exacerbate the challenges as where we are actually having these, mistrust. Because thank you, because somebody will imagine that if I trust this gadget that it's going to take care of my vote and see kind of things. No, 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 no. And then we are able to manipulate. So that lack of knowledge, lack of resources, and see kind of things have actually been a challenge. But then now, you as takes student, remember, how do we ensure that we come up with systems that then people can actually trust, people can have, faith in. How do we do this? I want to hear from any one of you. How do we do this to ensure that indeed these things are actually appreciated, that they are for our very, well-being? Any one of you? I know it's not an easy one, but we have to try. Yes, well.
Glorious return if they're a powerful mentor character.
Okay, just as was mentioned by the two speakers, Daniel and Idiatsi, is that we need trust and we also need a sense of inclusion for the lower class and the middle class with the upper class. So we actually need a level, so you need to have an autonomous trust system whereby you shouldn't, since in Africa we have very weak institutions and the rule of law is not something that people tend to follow, we actually need to take away trust and make it have a trustless system whereby you actually don't need to have trust in the institutions to actually get things done. And one way of doing that is a technology that has been going around a lot is blockchain, whereby you have a system whereby it is not reliant on a third party to actually verify and consolidate that information. So you tend to have that you can have one party and another party interacting without having to consult another third party, which is the government or the institutions. So this trustless system would actually ensure that there is a fair consensus and fair elections. And on the other part of inclusion is that it has to be something accessible to the lower class. Like, for example, there's during the previous election, there was this whole idea of if you want to know where your voting station is, you have to send an SMS, which was worth 20 shillings. And you hear people complaining about it. The Mama Mboga is like, where will I get 20 shillings to pay to know where my voting station is? That's a lot. That's money I can use for something else. That's so it has to be something cheap and it has to be something simple, because you don't want a complicated system whereby they have to go through many steps in order to do it, or they have to travel long distances in order to do it. So it's something that's very convenient, it's simple, and I've even seen that Amani has mentioned transparency. Yeah, so you can't have, for example, the servers in France. So the servers in France, I think. Yeah, the servers are in France, like, and they are refusing to give the data to the Kenyan government. That should not be allowed. So we should actually have access to that data, and any citizen can take a look and actually see whether this is a free and fair election. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Oh, great. Thanks. You guys, I think we have to start writing a paper. A paper people can actually read it. The things that we are talking about here are very important, but we must actually write somewhere, and people to we can write a paper and then we publish it there for people to read. In fact, I like also I can read it from the chat. Oh, at least today it's going to everyone. This is very good, but there's one which didn't go to everyone. By Mariam, allow me to read. E-democracy fails in Kenya due to poor mass education. Indeed, and I think in the years you talked about that knowledge. Programs are rolled out without creating the system. Yeah, sure. In fact, in 2010, yes, 2010. Yeah, we did a simple study here to assist that was interim independent electoral commission then to assist them on how they can change their website and other systems in order to have inclusivity. Just to show you how that simple participation of colleagues, your former colleagues in this university, they just participated in a simple study. Our Badea, I put them there. They were around 20. They were around 20 because I picked master student. They were master student who were four. Then 20 were undergraduate, and then one was from University of Nairobi. It's what we call a control group, just in case we hear from an outsider. The master's students, then some of them are actually at Indus now. By then, allow me not to mention the names. So they participated, they gave comments, and I compiled and analyzed them. I gave it to the commission, and they were very appreciative about this education. It came out clear that you can educate people using the website. But what is it that you put there? If you start putting a lot of English in a website, whereby you are actually talking about Mamamboga. For those of us who are not familiar with Swahili, Mamamboga are the food vendors. Those food vendors, those who sell vegetables. You see, some of them do not know how to read, but they can actually read to a picture. They can actually be able to see, yeah, this one is X, Y, Z. This person is doing this and this. So we told them, fine, have all the English that you want to have there. But that is for the elite, the people who are going to school. But what about the person who has not gone to school? And the person who wants to be communicated to? So that's when they realized for sure they were not communicating. What they were actually doing, they were just, messing up everything. They had put a lot of politicians in the front page and the word, which was fine. You can have this as as many photos you want somewhere. But in terms of the pictures, let's see, we are talking about that somebody can go to vote when he is still taking care of his cows. Let's see, a Moran man or any other person who would associate himself with. I can actually do my layering on my cattle, taking care of my cattle, but I can go vote. Let's see, a farmer who's stealing, cultivating his or her farm. Let's see a mother carrying the child on her back, that you can actually be able to do this thing as you participate in the civic duty. Which then now brings in that as technology assisted in communicating this, the answer is there for you. But then I want you guys now who are the experts. And I really hope that you will be the experts that I'm looking for. That when this is what we call now targeted communication as far as matters of democracy is concerned. You see, if you want to talk about something in a particular environment, it must be informed by data. Must be informed by data. So these are the things. So I appreciate that. Then Newton, thank you. Mutanya, thank you. The problem in Kenya is that the law seems to lose power, so people tend to act above the law. I agree with you, but we are all called to abide by law, try to do our very best. Because those who go against it, the law will catch them. Yes, Ngogi, electronic voting is still a bad idea because an attack on paper ballot is much harder than an attack on electronic system. Quite an interesting one. Do we agree with John Ngugi that electronic voting is prone to a kind of attack as compared to paper based? What do you think? What do you think about that? Who can address this?
This is a severe uphill pattern. Look at the cut.
Yes, Julie.
That means the grain of the grass is great.
Yes, are you?
I'm fine. Okay, so my opinion about this, I think both are prone to attack because consider a situation where we're using paper to vote, right? So people can just put more papers. Maybe the security team can add more votes. or anything can happen to the votes. And
Yes.
also, I don't dispute John's point. When people vote electronically, it means that someone can actually hack into the system and manipulate it. So I would say maybe yeah, people can hack into the systems more than the way people can maybe sabotage votes which are on paper.
Oh, great, great. Thanks, Julie. Maybe my take on this. But before I give my take, maybe you can hear from Olamide.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Hi.
So I also do not quite disagree with that. But then I also feel like I tend to believe anything that is created by man can be undone by man at the same time. So I would say they're both prone to attacks, and you might even find a situation where the electronic version is easier to get hold of than the paper version.
Yeah. Oh, great, great. Now I can give my thank you. Oh, Rebecca, listen, Ula.
In my opinion, they're both very prone to attacks. I think it really depends on the initiative of the people actually holding the elections to ensure it's credible, whether it's paper or cyber security. Those cyber security would probably be more safer and accessible, since you don't have a situation where like, ballot boxes disappear in transit, or some guys, let's say, get ballot boxes in the evening, something like that. So I think they're both bad, but I think the cybersecurity is better. I mean, the online system is better.
Oh, okay. Thank you, thank you. Listening to you all. Yes, John. John, yeah. Maybe you want to explain your point. Yes, yes, John. Hello. Unfortunately, I can't hear you, John.
Okay. So the reason I think, okay, an attack on an electronic system is very easy to scale, as opposed to paper, because for you to manipulate a paper ballot, you need a lot of people involved and a lot of resources, because like paper ballot, it's distributed all over the country. So like you can't just do it with a few people. You need probably hundreds of people involved, and which would be easy to discover. But an electronic attack, you just need a very small team, and probably after the attack, people might not even know what happened. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I hear your point actually. I want to do what I call as partner into the work. I don't know whether any one of you has done a system and put it there and has been hacked. I'll give my experience. In 2012, 2014, I think 2012. Um, I did a particular system for managing health facility. Uh, the system was operating on first. I knew Windows. People can easily, manipulate it. So I decided no, it's going to operate on a Linux environment. We did, but what we did, we had 3 layers. Because when you're dealing with health, you're dealing with data which is highly sensitive. And I will talk about this is practical examples. Then what we did with those 3 layers, we made sure that the first one, if someone manages the first one, would have worked first hard, but would even work harder the second one. By the time he reaches the third one, obviously he would have actually spent. So we had a number of layers to protect the data. One of the persons who participated in that system trying to interfere with the system was an insider, the person who was in charge of information or data. We call them, information officers. And the reason as why they wanted to get into that data was they wanted to collude in order to manipulate. So there was a motivation. But then they didn't manage to reach they managed the fast. In fact, I need to be very honest, she managed to hire good guys who managed to go the first layer. But the third and the second, they couldn't. The second, they decided now to start corrupting a few things. But of course, we had another way in which we were, doing packaging of the data. So hacking can be both internal, external. That's something I wanted to bring to your attention. And usually, insiders are the most crazy one. Most recent, actually, as recent as on Monday, in the US, in the state of Pennsylvania, hospitals could not work because the hackers took charge of the health systems and they actually took the they actually took patient data. That is very serious. You see now with patient data, they can actually manipulate and then bring it back. So when they bring it back, you see there are things we call biomarkers and a few things, or maybe there was a diagnosis which was made actually saying, okay, this person is this and that, or just to illustrate how serious that is, like now, let's say there could be a medicine given to a patient. Both people could be maybe 30 years, but because one maybe the weight of one is maybe 70 kg and another one is maybe 50, you realize that the way in which you are going to administer the drug you administer is different because weight plays a particular role in how you administer the drug. So you realize, so these guys get this data and manipulate and bring it back. So whoever is going to come and now take care of these patients will not have the right information and will actually administer things because the data is wrong. So that occurred there. Now let me come into the democracy. We talked about, they told us the servers were in France, and I remember hearing them that those fellas are asleep. Then one of the things I asked myself, does a server require somebody to sit there to watch it, or does somebody have to, to put it on, all these things. So what I'm trying to build into is what we call systems can be good, but it requires good people to ensure that these systems do what? Work. But at the same time, we can actually build like the system that I've talked about, that you have, extra features that ensure that, if this occurs, what's the fallback plan? When you were listening to those stackers of what happened last time, I kept on wondering whether we are aware of what the stories were really. Sometimes I don't know whether there was proper, discussion. But now you, as the expert, you see, you need now, fallback plans. There's what we call, all right. I remember the other story they was, okay, where were you packing up this data? They kept on saying, oh, well, I don't remember where they said they had put it. Okay. But they said they had put it there. Then the answer is, okay, if it was there, then you can switch back to this, all these things. Up to now, I don't know whether those servers have ever been opened. But these are all, you are talking about the systems are as good as the people themselves. So this is a story which we can actually look at. Thank you for all the comments that are here. Uh, mm, so yes, very very interesting. And these are the things that we can actually discuss and encourage, and actually be able to see how best we can assist our country moving forward. I have participated in directioneering as an officer. There's a lot I can actually tell you. I can tell you um, in future for sure. But I did participate. I participated in the 202. Yeah, if you go back to the 202, it was very. There was in melodramas we are usually treated to, but it all calls for good, systems, among other things. So these are some of the things that I want you to read. So I'm going to give you this paper. It's a very interesting paper. Now, this paper, this is the only exercise I want feedback from each one of you. I want you to read this paper and analyze it in your own way, but summarize it into at most 2 pages. It's 10 pages, but I want you to read it and summarize it in your own way into 2 pages maximum. You summarize it to have a page, that's okay. You summarize it into 1 page, that's okay. You summarize it into 2 pages, that's still okay. I don't want you to go into a lot of opinions and that kind of things. You are only being factual, okay, based on this paper. So I will put this paper, you read it, analyze it, summarize it into just maximum 1 page. You upload it in the e-learning. When we will meet in the next class, I will randomly select, no, I will randomly create breakout rooms, and those breakout rooms, you will then have a chance to present your work to your colleagues. Okay? So what I want you to note is that there is no right answer or wrong answer. Okay? What matters is how you support your argument. Okay? You support your argument, you support your position. But at least this gives you a position to start from. So that then we have a more candid discussion during that time. You read through this, summarize it, at least maximum. I hope it's not a complicated exercise. For those of you who are traveling, I know you guys travel. Is you can just print it or have it in your phone, just read it. I'm sure some of you read faster. Maybe in an hour you are finished, or 2, I don't know. But you can just summarize it into that. More importantly, as you summarize it, you see this study was done in a European country. It was not done in Kenya. And that's why I was trying to bring Kenya, so then you understand on how you are going to analyze. You can see it was done in Lithuania. Lithuania is not it's in Europe. So, but some of the issues these guys are talking about are issues we are talking about in Kenya. And the issues that are elsewhere also. I'll give an example of US for those of you who are following what's happening there. I think it's Twitter, you know what's, I mean, I don't have to standardize anybody. So many stories about all these things. So let's reflect there. Are the things that these people found in this country reflective of what's taking place in Kenya? So I'm looking forward to a very robust kind of discussion in the next. And as I've actually indicated, I will be glad to assist in coming up with a paper. you guys, when you can see some of the fellows we are reading here, could be just students like you. I'm a believer that you also need to write something that these people also read. We shouldn't always be reading from there. We also need to write something. They also read. They also need to hear from our side. And then remember, in the first lectures, I said that technology makes sense when it is in a context. When you develop a technology or any system, you must reflect on the society where it occurs. So I will be glad to see those robust discussion, those summaries, and then I will be keen in facilitating writing a paper as a research output. That would be a nice thing, years to come. You say, I wrote a paper when I was a graduate. Here it is, and people can read it. I look forward to that. So, but let's see how it goes. Good. So having said this, because this one I'm giving you now, so then at least you have time to read, just in case you don't have time. So I'm going to give you around 30 minutes to after, even more than 30 minutes. But before then, before I give you this, because I'm going to upload this right away in the e-learning, and then I'll put the link for you to be able to do what? To be able to submit that at your own time, but please not later than the time that you have indicated. There won't be grading. I'm not going to grade. So, but then do not actually say now that there's no grading, do not account for marks. I think you will enrich the discussion when you have read. So that then you are also able to contribute and actually say, no, I read here, this is what they meant, and this is how I see it in Kenya. I think that is very important. So having said that, I want to take any question from you before I move to something else. I want to again engage you. Right. I don't see any hand. So I'll stop that sharing then, and then I now want to engage you on something something very important, and which was brought to my attention, and then see how best we can sort this one out. So our class kind of has ended, but then I want us to agree, and this is now where I say I want us to discuss like a house, a family. I am the since when was it? Since last I think July, end of July, I was requested to shepherd and to assist the informatics group in their academic pursuit. You see, we have 3 programs in the faculty in undergraduate, BPC, ICS, and then BPIT. So I was requested to be like the reference point for the informatics. My way of looking at things has always been I listen, and then try to be as factual as possible, and to be, uh, to give what I think is the most, fair, way out on this. What I'm going to mention is, in the morning, I was told that there was a class which was supposed to take place. Maybe it didn't take place. There was some last week. There was challenges, and then the other week there were challenges. So I thought the issue had been resolved, but I see it's affecting you, and definitely it's affecting everyone. We recognize that. I want to us to find a solution. I certainly if you won't mind, I'll give you what I think is my opinion. Then you formulate on it, and I'll be able to take you through the reasons as to why I think that's the best way. The first time the issue was indirectly actually caught my attention was that there was this unit first. There was the units of web security, and then there was the other unit about distributed web objects and services. But let me focus on at least that one. I was in the meeting where we discussed this thing. Maybe I didn't give my clear thought about the same, but I've had time to reflect. Then the web security was like the issues not there. I remember, and I was like, I shouldn't be there. There was the issue that the issues concepts not there are too basic. You've already covered them. You needed something that has a clear impact on your next life. Because for me, your next life is industry. When I talk about industry, I mean I want to see each one of you either being an employer or you can be employed. I believe in job creation. You create jobs. Because I think you guys can. There is no question about it. The opportunities are there, and I believe towards the end of we'll get an opportunity to talk about opportunities out, because after campus, there's life after campus. So this unit, therefore, I thought I had you well, but you needed something which ought to be not introduction. That I agree with you 100%. I think I had a number of you making proposals. I think there were two proposals. Pardon me, I have forgotten one of them. One which was mentioned was about you need to know some skills of ethical hacking. And I agree with you for sure. In fact, there is a proposal that I'm writing, and I was telling somebody, God willing, we may get that opportunity to train people on what we call cyber hygiene. Cyber hygiene is cyber security anyway. It's a big issue. It's a forum I participated in the other day. Look, in fact, in your neighborhood, if you guys have not seen opportunities, I can tell you can see them. And you can even ask your neighbors there. Some people are stressed up with their kids because their kids, they want to know where their kids are. Another gentleman was telling me he's tried to put some gadgets there to monitor what the kids are doing. So the moment he installs, when he goes out, the kid has actually uninstalled, and all these things. And he's talking about a kid of 10 years. Because at that age, they are very inquisitive, have known these things. And so there is a big drama out there, and parents are stressed up. And I'm actually giving you this to encourage that you are social. One of the aspects of social informatics is therefore to go there and use it for the society. I was listening to somebody who was, trying to take his life simply because of this technology for sure. Because and so it's a big issue. It's a big issue. So I thought that ideally those are some of the skills that you needed to go, because you are going next year, COVID, and I'm sure most of us, I know most of us are affected. There are those who have lost a direct relative. I have lost a cousin, a family member, but it was staying in the US. So every one of us has, and so the impact is there. And these issues are going to be very serious. So how do we then ensure that mental health issues, technology comes in and solves these things? How do we ensure that systems, and there are the systems there which ensures that when somebody watches somewhere, it screens and ensures that the information this person is going to get is that which is not going to make this person get mental issues and some kind of thing. So the issues are many, and they are going to be many next year. So I thought I had that clearly. Now, and then there was also the question that maybe these units are more than the other group that you guys, the group you follow. I want to give you facts, and I want to be very honest with you that, or even I give myself as an example. I did one extra unit in undergraduate, and I do not regret that unit. I did one extra unit, and I went to class when my colleagues were like, "You are wasting time," but I thought I needed, and this was about environmental health. You can then relate. Personally, I did engineering and a few other things, computing. So people were like, why? But I really wanted this. I was like, I want to understand the healthiness of what I'm going to do, because whatever I'm going to do is going to affect the environment. I do not regret at all, at all. Now, these courses, when we are doing this curriculum, for sure, and I like following, how are the students faring? How is this student, where is this course taking them? I participate, I manage largely. Now I want to show you the transition and the importance of that course. In Kenya, we are having, of course, the last census says we are around 45. I don't know. The president talked about 45 million the other day, but I think we are over 47 million Kenyans. How many what do you call security experts do we have? There are 1,700. Qualified 1,700. This is according to the last study on just experts in Kenya. At least that has a registry. In the policy that I in the study that I participated, is one of the things that's going to come out is that everybody who's going to be a practitioner in Kenya, to say I'm a computer scientist or I'm a what, in a field of IT, must get a certification and be known this is the area you are specialized in, and be known this is what you are good for. In fact, that just watch the space, you will see it from Parliament actually. It's going to come as a registration. You see, like now, lawyers get certificate of practicing, medical, the doctors, the same, teachers, the same. You can't go teach, and actually they get a certificate to participate, to practice. So because IT has been, and liberalized, so we have had now challenges as a country. And you saw what the president was talking about: security. IT is a security issue. And if it's a security issue, then you need to know who are the practitioners. You need to know what is this person doing. And then to that extent, then I thought it was good also to have knowledge in these fields of security and that kind of thing. That was the philosophy of thinking then. I know most of your colleagues have actually uh, gone to do masters in information systems. I'm sure you know we cover that in what in at ILAB, but that is within the faculty. You could be aware we have actually revised. Or if you are not aware, we have revised the telecommunication. In fact, from this year, from the last intake, in fact, from last year, we don't have telecommunication. What we have is computer security, no, rather cyber security. Now, why are we thinking that? It's because that is the big thing. That's the going forward. So this course was supposed to also give you that. So then there's the aspect that maybe the units are more. I tend to why we didn't also over you. I remember last time there was an oversight, but at the same time, in fact, I can always produce these facts. There was also a group, not you. There was a group which said no, and actually parents, not only parents, not your parents. I must be quick to say, parents of third year, I must be specific, said we don't want our kids to do units more than 6. I remember one professor who's actually was my teacher, was a vice chancellor somewhere. Let me be specific. Meru University was there telling, parents were like, no, our kids are on the computer from morning until you know what. Well, they made a decision. So I think in oversight, without consulting and making reflection of that impact, that decision was made. But okay, 6. And then the thinking then was like, by September, we are coming back on campus. And if we come on campus, we know for sure. I've just come from a meeting and everybody's saying, I work online, it has tripled. I can tell you it has. It has. And so I reflect on you guys. It must be crazy. Crazy with us, it must be even higher on your side. So that now that came, right now. But I want us to settle this. I want you guys to, because I want you to finish your school, not just finishing, but I want you to allow us correct that anomaly. We work together to correct this anomaly. And even I think the discussion which was there that it should be done in a manner that it should not be done introduction, but done bringing the industry. What I think the discussion was is to bring the industry into this cyber, mobile, call it what, mobile security, that you are doing, to bring it into that course. So then it's not theoretical, but more practical. And apology, Salom. And I thought that was the thinking, to make sure that it becomes easier, becomes better. Okay. So, Ayan, I would actually respond to that. Thank you. So I am requesting you guys to allow me step in and sort this thing out to make it sure that it's done in a better way. Not because at the end, time is moving, and I see a situation where we are going to start saying no, it is this and this. What I'm telling you, the fact is that the unit is in your curriculum. So, and to remove it, I need to be very honest on this. To remove it, it is a long process. I don't want us to reach, and I think no, maybe by then, I know of students, I give universities who were called back to go and do, they had finished and said, okay, we have graduated, they were called back to do by the regulator. Remember, there's a regulator, I'm sure you know who's a regulator, Commission for University Education. This curriculum that we are giving you is already with them. So if they have it, when you graduate, let me now tell you, when you graduate, they start booklet you are given. That booklet, even before, it is given. If you go to the Commission for University Education, some of you have relatives there. They will tell you they have the register who graduated for which course and which syllabus. So if now I don't want us to put you in a situation, yeah. I think because at the end, as time goes by, we'll start actually trying to be, pushing each other. And I don't think so far, in fact, if there's a group, and that's why I didn't, the group, I didn't even have any problem. I think it was this one. Third year was, second year has their own challenges. First years are led to learn, they are discovering one or two things. But fourth years, I think, and for sure, that was recorded very well. So let this not be one of the areas we differ. So that's I request if you allow me, I'll say that we reorganize so that then this the introductory things which were there are removed so that you do the things that will assist you in the systems you are going to do, assist you in the careers that you are going to go, and such kind of things. That is my prayer and the wish that we will reflect on this. So I don't know whether I respond to the comment question from Yanni before I allow anyone to actually ventilate. Are we doing exam in school? So you recognize the how to call it the vice chancellor communicated to all of us actually you me in fact the same message that I will wait for further direction on how we are going to come back. I can actually confirm to you that the discussions are ongoing, and I think the registrar communicated. I don't know whether received it is the people whom I can actually indicate are going to. There is the exam which is scheduled next month, but there is another exam which is for those who missed it because of timetabling issues. They are actually doing the exams, I think, next week. They are around very few, around 8. Those ones, I think, at the school, we said they can still do it remotely. But there is a group of master students, information systems security students. I teach them actually. I teach them one unit called experience, business experience. For sure, they wrote and actually said, we want to do this exam on campus. I those caught my attention. I am the director for postgraduate and research and postgraduate. I then actually said, this is the request. It was discussed in the committee, and they are going to do the exam in campus. In fact, the exam was scheduled. It ought to have been done last week. It was scheduled to next month, first week. But they, their program is done in the evening. But now in the evening, we cannot because of curfew and such kind of things. We told them, if you are able to come, you come then during the day. Because the government has given the university a leeway that you can actually do what? You can allow students to, come, in a phased manner. So they will be coming, and they have actually signed that they come. They do the exam from 2 to around 5. That one. I'll give many examples. This morning, actually, my niece is with me. Actually, went to do the exam in KU. You see, universities are different. I think I was in a technical university. We are doing a research with some professors there, and I hope one of you, in fact, I really hope one of you will rejoin one of our master's programs so that I recruit one of you into that research that we are doing. We are doing some modeling and health informatics. Anyone who's interested in this, I'll be glad. But you promised me you are joining masters here in January or thereabouts, and we'll be having an intake in January. In fact, anybody who's here and you finish and you want to do, because for sure, staying home without these masters, Kenya is graduating so many. So when you are one degree ahead, you are far much ahead. So anyone who's interested on this, I'll be putting out that call. I need around 4 master's students for that program. We pay, we not pay the entire fee, but we pay, we pay something, what you call a stipend. So what I'm trying to therefore say, Ayan, is yeah, indeed, the the registrar will communicate on how, who, and what. Will not all come at Hago. There will be a process of coming back. And that's why, in fact, like some of us, we had to come, we had a meeting here today. So it is actually how it will go. So there will be a communication. It will not be like, you must come this and that. And then the other thing is the thinking of how do we have this, maybe they say thinking whether you come specific days of the week and other days you are at home. So it will be a face kind of interaction. Huh? So there is that debates here. So let's reflect now. I can check on this. What are the reasons for not dropping the unit? I have actually indicated that for sure it is one of your requirements is in your curriculum. So and the curriculum is what is approved. And next week I will actually show you this actually, right? So the curriculum went through a review, okay, and the reviews are actually made. By the way, we review the curriculum. There's what we call major review and minor review. Minor review is done, anytime you feel that there's something that you need to readjust and respond to. Money, that is what happened. Julie, few concerns. This you can actually give you so your hand. I will give you a chance. So let me just respond to this. Can we come to school to study in the right place because it's hard to start at home? I agree with you, Odiere. Allow me for sure to inquire on this, and I'll get back to you in our next meeting. I will for sure. With that one, yeah, I agree with you. But the other thing, studying the environment is a bit hard. But one of the other things that actually said people can actually find, get the books. But if you are not able to get the books, you can actually you can get it online. You could actually place an order, and then it will actually be, delivery could be arranged to get it. Shannon Muchera, yes. For web security unit, Dr. Rero informed us it has already been replaced with industry talk. I thank you. I actually, why I put this is that because I have actually seen a number of emails. I don't want to mention who wrote what and what, because then we'll be going in circles. So that's why we want to integrate this what we are talking about, the industry talks. So this industry talks should not be just it should be within a context. And that's why I'm saying, okay, if we are bringing, these industry experts, for instance, we could bring somebody who's, to show you on the latest web, web security configurations. How do you do this? That's the practice. Actually, that is how we thought it was to be. So that then you are able to see, even, to tell you what are the latest, web security challenges that are there. So that then by the time you reach there, you are not going to, an environment which is, that is how it was actually taught. And I think that is for sure. I think I'm communicating what people deliberated last Monday based on some emails that I were actually received. So Shannon, I hope I've answered that. So now what you are saying is really contradicting what we know. Please consult with him first so we know the way forward. Actually, I'm not contradicting him because you are actually saying, it is this unit, the big put in the context. I think we are talking about the same thing. Um, um, I don't have to open some, emails here from a number of you because I thought that maybe there was no clarity. How is it delivered? What is it being delivered? What talk? How are you going to be examined? Because there was those questions are going to be examined. Is the fee going to be reduced? all these things. So I want to be very, that's why I said here, we are talking, as a family. We get, further then we get to know this, because I do not, last week, only 20 something people attended class. This morning, the faculty manager told me she only saw one person waiting in the room, and then later on that one person disappeared. I've not been, so I am like, you are pushing yourself into a situation whereby it will be like, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. No, let's discuss this before it becomes something which is not nice. Amani Newton, I understand it is the curriculum, but it seems the review was not thorough since we are having repetitive content. We agree with you, and for sure, one of the things that you are going to note is you will actually be requested to give us this feedback, like what you are actually saying. Point out this. When we are doing this curriculum, you see, we give somebody to maybe develop something, another one to develop something. So maybe the person who developed this content for this unit do not actually make reference to the other. Now that you have actually pointed out, and this is actually, we normally say this is a responsibility shared. Like, yeah, you've seen this is a mistake. Your colleagues should not come do the same. We change, and that is the essence of these reviews, for sure. This feedback is very important, and we take them seriously. When we do what we call the review, we document meaning, because we must send it to the university council as why we want to change. We explain, yeah, it came also from the student. We tell them we have observed, we have seen, we have consulted the industry, and even the students. We feel, yeah, these are the feedback. So you are right, Mani. Uh, to track, for sure, if the unit is brought back to life, I can promise performance level will increase significantly. But there is no way we can have loaded timetable for the project mountain of assignment. Yeah, I think on the assignment, I will want to be clear on this one. And if I remember, there is something I promised then, that assignment is something that you could do the following week. And I remember I made the lecturers teaching you, and I explained to them that because the students seem to have extra workload because of extra more units, reduce the number of assignments, and then make sure that then they are also done in a manner that does not actually make people feel pressure. That was the thing. Now, the unit brought back, when what I'm actually indicating is, I'm trying to mediate in between on what uh, the issues that I've actually seen in the email. I don't want to put anybody on the spot on this one, because we are discussing. That's the essence. So the unit is the question we ask ourselves: is the unit good? I thought what was the issue then was, what's this content? I think this is repetitive. I mean, I think one of you asked, why should I pay fee for something that I already know? And I agree, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no. Then there was an issue. Can we actually bring something, something contextualized? That's why I remember one of you, I think you were on there, who said, headcore hacking. Of course, headcore hacking, is a whole forest of things. But at least somebody having, some basic introduction on headcore hacking is a kind of thing. Yeah. Um, I do not know what Gabriel Mbugua meant. I hope you can tell me what it is. I don't understand this. Bridge Sorrow, I believe we were discussing, not preaching. So I do not know what is in mind. Perhaps
excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
yeah, yes.
First of all, we have our hands up in the chat, and you're not choosing us.
Yeah,
And
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing them. I'm going back there. I'm actually going through the chat. Then I go
let me raise my concern. You said
no,
you talked with the lecturers about the assignments,
Solomon,
but yeah,
do it this way. If
but
it's let's do it this way. If it's the hand, then I'll go to Amani first because Amani is fast. What I'm trying to do, I'm going to read the comments as I receive, and then I see the.
no, sir. That no. Listen, like
I,
I
I
typed comment, but I still.
let's be very honest. I'm actually very consistent. Yours, I've just commented on yours. Then I have to leave the one who's number one in the chart rather on the hand. But this when we are really, yeah, I'm sure in that case then we are respectful and honest to each other. Okay, all right. So I think by the time your hand, for sure, I'm watching as they are. Okay? By the time your hand was up, Ali had written. So I need to talk to Ali, and then I give you, guys, that's being fair, isn't it? Now, Ali says, I agree with Solomon. Then, in the end, the panel will say, still be strict on the assessment on the project. Yet, we have a massive amount of workload. But what is expected from us is an excellent project. So, and that's why on the assignment, that's now I am trying to balance on this workload thing. Because even this industry talk, um, I think those who have worked with me here know I actually will for sure tell you facts as they are. I'm going to open an email whereby there was a question asked by one of you, but I hide the name, not one, in fact, around three, that are we going to do exam on this industry talk and how are we going to do this exam? So I think I'm trying to clarify and to give everybody a clear focus on this. Okay. So then now this aspect that there is industry talk, there is no exam. I will be very frank with you. Let us not actually pacify things, but let's get this thing right. It will be done in that context. So when we are talking about workload, I want to hear whether. So when someone you are going to talk, I want to hear whether the assignment are still that many. That because I think we agreed on how it was going to be done. Then the projects and say kind of things. And the projects, I remember one of you actually wrote to me. I started writing comments for him and not supervising anyone here. But I actually said, yeah, this one came and I wrote the comments for sure. I'm going to share with you, you know yourself, cannot name names here. So this project supervision and all things, we all want to have if we can actually make lighter your job, yeah, your workload. Do not feel alone. Okay. Now with that, then I need to give a chance to a man. Your hand was up for a little bit early before then Solomon. And
Hello.
then continue with the other, in the chat.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, Aman.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I want to address the issue of how if it's the curriculum, how can we have oversights on two occasions in the same faculty? So like we have pushed one unit to the next semester. Second, the content is repetitive. It doesn't really make sense to have such because let me give an analogy. If I teach you how to sharpen a pencil with a sharpener, then I give you a knife. A knife does the same thing, but it is not efficient. So I believe I don't see the why we need the unit, even if it's in the curriculum. I don't see why we need it.
Okay. Maybe two oversights. There are no two oversights here. I think there are no two oversights. And I think that should not be really the issue. I want us to find a solution, guys. By the end of this, I'll be showing you, the curriculum as it is. In fact, um, there is a decision that we have to make, which is good. I've actually indicated that for sure there was a discussion, and I will be the last one to lie to you. There was a discussion, and the minutes are there and they can be produced. Remember these things, and actually, parents. And I've given you examples of a professor who actually said, "No, don't do that." Okay, and I've actually indicated that the thinking, and it was a very good thinking that we are coming back on campus on September. If you remember very well, that was the initial aspect. Then the university was given an okay. Need to be was given, you remember Samagoa saying, yeah, Satmo is near, but then we did a survey and we also said, no, as our students come, we can't guarantee, we in the campus we are okay, but where they are going to stay, what about them? There are other, still the country was on lockdown, the people traveling from other countries and all these things, right? So it was correctly seen because we knew working online is massive. And therefore, there was like, yeah, let's not burden the students. Let's give them an opportunity and then, to ensure that people work well. That was it done in good faith? The answer is yes, for sure. And in those meetings, they were addressed by senior officers of the university. And they also talked about many other things. But that one I can confirm to you, and it was really a ventilation. Maybe not your parents, but I've told you, when a decision is made, it's made, many things. Then number two, I also say when a curriculum is made, a curriculum is not just one of that unit. There are many units. So that's why I said maybe then whoever was given this unit to develop did not consider what other units have been done. And there are many other units. And I will tell you, I teach PhD. Let me just to show you a practical example. I teach PhD, right? I'm teaching data structures and algorithms. There, no, now there we call it design and analysis of algorithms. The starting point, I must actually, in that particular class, I'm meeting 15, in fact, 15 of the students in that class are your lecturers. I meet them in that class. So do I actually assume they know everything? The answer is no. I must start, okay, the thinking in an algorithm is A, B, C, D. There is what we call the obvious. But the first lecture, that's where we started. The second lecture is when now we went to a tour of many things. Then they were like, what? This thing, And I told them now, this is PhD. You go now, but you start somewhere. You can't even go to jump. You go down in order to jump higher. So that is the thing. So whoever did that may have not considered that. But then now we are actually saying now, a curriculum, a content in a subject can change in order to address that. So that's not really something to say is an oversight and such kind of thing. I think I want to be very honest, and those are facts you will find anywhere. Aman, I want us when we meet out there, that this guy told me facts.
I know it's fact. I know it's fact. Yes,
Yeah,
I believe you. But are we supposed to bear the consequences of not of repetitive content being in the curriculum because someone else did something that wasn't foreseen? Is it a mistake on our part or a mistake on your part? Should we bear the consequences of our part or your part?
no. You see, you see when you were at Newton again, you are contradicting yourself. You see, when the content was, introductory, you said we have done this. Why are we repeating this? So we are saying, no, you shouldn't repeat. You need, what we call progressive learning. So you need content which is, reflective.
Yes.
So the question, if you are actually saying dying is by actually doing the unit, is what I've actually told you that you need. Yani, as much as you want to say now, if I hear you, you are saying drop this unit. But I've actually told you for sure, go Google the following universities. You have the internet. Google Masinde Muliro, Google Egerton University and the Kibati University, whereby students had to be recalled back to come and do that unit because the regulator said you have not done this. You understand this? So we actually said this unit was to be done in September, while we were thinking you were to come on campus. But now you are not on campus. So now what do we do? Do we actually say, no, this unit should stay until next year? The answer is no. What we are actually saying, yeah, you can actually do this unit, but what we know has been a mess is the number of, assignments, which we said now, to ensure that therefore the students have ample time to study this, we can actually reduce. If the number of assignments were 10, why can't we have 5? So that then frees the students to be able to, can we deliver this instead of actually using this whatever? Can we have industry, delivery industry talks in this security and such kind of things? So we are actually what Dr. Aurelio said is exactly what I'm saying is, can we have these industry talks? Which are, they will not be just industry talks nowhere, but they are industry talks in, these security things. I don't think there's anything else that we have actually. So, on how do you want to solve a man?
So you said there's a regulator who ensures that this unit is done across all universities, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do my research. I'll come back.
Good. Commission for University Education, Google.
Okay.
And even before we leave, I am actually going to show you the curriculum when we said, in fact, before we leave here. Because if you are doubting me, that is disaster. I'm going to show you communication from them. Sent this year, not last year. This year in the month of, I will show you guys this year, in fact, because it is transparency. These are the facts. So that then now, this business of missing class, you see, you will hurt yourself. That's why I said, instead of now having it discussed out there, we discuss it here. Because I am your advocate and I'm the person who's supposed to guide you correctly. So I'm going to show you that one. Because you seem to imagine that there is no such, I will show you. Vanessa, the class is scheduled for Friday. I need to confirm on that, but that's okay. It's scheduled because we had a makeup class at that time. Well, I don't know. I need to know from the faculty manager because that's what she told me. Look, I will be honest with you. Even with your unit, it is the same content we did in human-computer interaction. That's back in second year. That's very good. You really had to add units, why not add units which are new, different? This is very good. And that's what I actually said that this is what we need. This is basically what we need. So that then a document is what we call is live, keeps on moving on and moving on, improving. Technology changes, and that's what we have talked about today, for sure. And that's what I've actually talked about, and I've told you, even if up to very highest level, for sure you will start some and talk about some of this. Do not assume, okay? This Basil, you have pointed very much noted. Thank you. We were told the class this week will be on Friday, then the next week will be revert to Wednesday and find out from. But at least that is what I'm actually telling you what I had. It appears if the communication channel is broken, I don't know whether it's broken. So for me, it was like, yeah, the students are not in the class. Have they decided not to be in class? And I was like, no, there must be a problem. Look at this from this perspective. We had distributed students last semester. This semester, we have distributed objects, which is testing same thing. Look at combiner construction. Begin the same as introductory to theory, computation and assembly. I know I've had a discussion about compiler construction, assembly, and and I'll check where the overlap is. We will definitely be able to take on board this comment. Then in that case, we should not be, we want to pay for the mistake when constructing the curriculum. I don't think you are paying for the mistake. I don't think you are paying for the mistake of one. I don't think so. I suggest that can maybe sponsor for future students for the course, introduce measure where each student uses the learning part and some of the units that administration things are important. That's good. This comments we are saying for the future for sure. We'll take on board, but now we want to solve this problem that is there. Set up another meeting with the dean. There's no problem. I would actually update him on this. This is about future students. I don't think that it's fair to have a speaker unit come rain, come. I think come rain, come go. When I hear the comment, some people were kicked out of class due to network issue. I think I've admitted those. If there's any, sorry, the push and pull the faculty is making us go through seem like you are taking our feedback seriously. I think we are, and that's why at least this meeting we are having, at least we are able to talk, at least do a poll and ask how many people want to do the unit and see for yourself. I don't have to do that, Mutanya. Mine was to communicate and to, I'm talking at this particular level. Maybe a decision will come, which based on the discussion I think we have had. But what I'm trying to say is that you guys need to be in class and need to, actually get this. Then us to introduce another unit. We already had heading to 50 week. Shannon, this is not we are not introducing. It is actually the unit was timetabled, but it has been, there's been this back and forth, and that's why I'm actually saying, can we actually get this done? I thought that's what I came and actually saying. Well, me, I thought this thing, is done, but there is what I'm actually telling you that only 25. That's what I was told. 25 students, and here we had 100. So what does that mean? It means that there's some, and then later on from that class that you had, there were further, questions. That's what I brought here. That can I hear what is this? So that then we solve this. Rosiana, I'll give you a chance. The solution is simple. The decision was made for the unit to be dropped by the dean. I can tell you Matata, and I'm going to show you that that is not the case. So if you got that the dean said the class to be dropped, I don't think that's what the dean meant, for sure. For sure. That one I can confirm to you. Introducing the unit again will be a burden to us. Okay, I will open one communication, and then we see the comments are quite. I'm trying to keep pace with them, but if I don't read yours, it doesn't mean that I've omitted them. So allow me to just show you. There is a man who wanted to know whether what I'm saying, the regulator, is there. I'm going to show you the correspondence from them, acknowledging they have received the curriculum that we gave them. Okay, and in that curriculum, I am going to show you the courses given. Then that will settle all these stories. Then the next thing that I also want is Marvin was actually said that the dean said the unit is dropped. Please, that is far from the truth. At least again, I will show you the communication from the dean, uh, affirming what I'm telling you. And then now so then again it goes against what others are actually saying. Now my question was like, okay, today you guys were not in class, but somebody has said no, the class was scheduled to Friday, which is okay. Then I'm okay, because my concern is that why were you not in class, and what can we do? Or is it that you don't want to go to class? And then that's why I'm trying to tell you that here it is not going to be something good for you, and it's not fair that way. So, so before, because I need to rush home to go to start a class for the masters, otherwise I'll be caught with the traffic. But let me just show Amani, just in case he wants to know this from the commission.
Excuse me.
In a minute.
Hello. Hello, Doc. Can you hear me?
Yes.
The issue is not really about me believing you or not. It's actually the relevance of the unit. You see, it's not actually me believing you or not.
The relevance of the course.
Yes, the relevance of the unit, because it's repetitive content. We have already covered this in previous units. The relevance is what matters. It is not me believing you or not. Anyone can believe you. Anyone can choose not to believe you. But is the unit really relevant?
The unit.
That's what you are capturing. Yes.
According to us, the unit is relevant.
Yes.
So
why?
that is what I'm saying. And that's what I'm actually trying to say, that can we then, and that's what we keyword by actually saying, all right, if you guys believe it's not relevant, can we bring the industry experience in the unit so that then you are able to see the relevance of the unit in the industry. That is what we wanted to show.
Okay.
But when I see, still there is the belief that the unit was dropped, far from the truth, because I don't think that that was the case. So I'm just going to show you, and I'm going to hide emails from one of you. Not one of you, a number of you. So, and when I tell you a number of you, I mean it. But I'm going to show you, and every one of you has a voice in this. So allow me to show you an email from the dean. The unit should be the same course as it is being taught by FI lecture. We will go into under billing, and this has issues. So I'm actually showing you that it does. So there is nothing like that they didn't drop the unit. So Marvin, that's why I'm like, this maybe if the communication didn't come out clearly then, I think that settles all that. I thought it's good I show you when I talk, I'm talking based on what is discussed, not personal. I leave it. Here is trying to ensure that things are done.
Excuse
Cosmos, yeah.
excuse me, sir.
Firstly, firstly, I want you to withdraw the statement about dictatorship. Firstly, I'll be very honest with you, Basil. That is not the spirit of which we are actually talking about here.
Hello, sir.
Yes?
Yeah. Okay. I know I probably wrote this in a very hard feeling, but just 2 weeks ago we had this discussion, a very long discussion about this unit being dropped, and we were convinced that the unit is being dropped. And we've had several other discussions which have never been like followed through, and I feel like we've been stalling over this discussion. So I don't really know if our feedback has been um, productive or it has been listened to by the officials. I just this is just what I feel is in my heart and in my mind, and I hope it's not uh, something very harsh, but I feel if you are going to ask any student over here what they've been going through, they'll be telling you the same thing, that we can't be doing the same content all over again. It doesn't make any sense. I'm really sorry. At the end of the day, we know we're going to be paying all the fees and we're going to get over it, but we don't want to get out of the uni without learning anything. You know, like, let's follow the units where there is learning involved. There is no point in doing a unit where we're just doing an exam and going home. And at this point where we are just at home, so we're just doing we just like, I don't feel like there is any learning involved. And I'm sure, and I'm 100% sure, if you have a poll right now and ask everybody in this class if there is any learning being involved, they will all tell you that there is no. And
Ah,
ask anybody, and maybe just 20% of the students currently have their projects, at a higher level. Just have an honest poll with everyone, and I'm sure you will get your answers.
yes. Thank you. I am happy you have noted that you communicated in an indifferent manner, but talking your explanation is clear. But the way you put it was quite really because for me, I came actually saying I am concerned that you are not in class. Why? To try to clarify, right? That indeed this is what it was meant. That's what I'm trying to say. It was meant that not to do the introduction. That's what you are actually saying. You do not want to do the same things. That is what I'm what you say. So then I'm actually saying fine. What we thought was actually not doing the same thing because you are actually going to, there is, there is this way in which we are it's supposed to be done. So then there is value for your money. That is what I'm trying to explain here to ensure that you guys are in class. I think that's what I mean, right? Which is in line with what you are actually saying. I think so. Which you can actually see. Basically, you can see there are three. Can I say that there are two versions here? There are those of you who say this unit is dropped, right? Now, I've actually shown you on actually I showed you those are what we call administrative correspondence, just to affirm that indeed it is not that way, right? Maybe because I know the dean is on leave, so I was like, hey, before maybe you may have misunderstood it. That's what I was trying to bring here. So then now you are able to understand that you are doing this unit in a proper context. So there are those who are saying it has been dropped. There are those who are saying we are doing the same thing. So we are saying no, we have sorted out this one. There are those saying that other units are repeated, which we are actually saying that's good. It's good comment. We'll actually take them on the board. Okay. I thought that is the
Um,
yes.
excuse. I was the one who was communicating with the dean and Yvonne. So we're not saying that the unit. Okay, the unit was replaced. It wasn't exactly dropped. The email that you sent to you've shown us from the dean. Like I think it means that like the fee, like the unit, like the unit that has replaced web security will be charged the same amount as web security. But then like Yvonne is the one who talked to me and she told me that the unit, like the one you're saying that we did not attend, she told me that the lecturer or the person who's supposed to take us through it will not be around on Wednesday. So for the first class, the first class for that unit will be on Friday at 12 p.m. Yeah. So it will be at 12. So that's why we were not in class on Wednesday because what I was told that there's no class. But from next week, we'll have the industry talks, according to Yvonne, on Wednesday.
Okay. Thank you,
Yes.
dear. So you can confirm to your colleagues that the unit was not done what? Dropped.
The content. Okay, we will not be taught web security. It will be like, for example, the according to the dean, it's like in the structure of the women in software engineering. Like that will be the structure of delivery. Like it won't be web security, but it will be like a different content. Now they say that they haven't like exactly given a name for it, but it will be basically industry talks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, our dear Solomon Titoeg. Please withdraw your statement, or I will, for sure, remove you from my class.
I withdraw.
I want us to respect each other. I've actually respected you very well, and I've been, yeah. Have you seen what you have written? In fact, the first instance when I told you are going to, you told me, listen. You remember you said that? Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, for sure.
My points.
Solomon, I will be having another chat with you, but I don't think your statement is really good. And for sure, ladies and gentlemen in this group, do you think it was necessary for me to have a chat with you about this? In the future, there are those who will say yes. In the future, there are those who feel that it's time wasted. But I pray that God will be merciful to show you why I had to have this. So I've actually informed you that I received a communication from the support manager that this group is not attending class. So could it be and it has come clear here. Others feel that the unit is dropped, which I'm actually saying is not the case. And then I'm trying to say, the industry talk as communicated by the dean was to in the context of it. If we just say talk, it could be anything. It has to be in a context of, and that's what I was clarifying, in a context of. Sharon, I'll give you a stance. But when Solomon, you actually say like Imagine teaching e-democracy and practicing dictatorship. I am not sure what I've practiced that one. Please give me an example of what I've practiced that. Here you are talking about my character.
Excuse,
Yes,
may I talk?
yes.
Like I wanted to talk, but you muted me and you didn't give me a chance to talk. I was still waiting, and there was still nothing. It's like you ignored us and our opinions. And for me, I saw that wasn't fair. And like the way you guys aren't answering the emails, also for me, it's not fair. Because also on my side, we're also having a difficult time. Some of us have jobs. You have siblings to take to school now. It's not even easy. It's quite difficult coping up with everything. And then to come to such a meeting and then you just get muted, it's not. I also got hurt by that. So I think we're in the same way.
Yeah. Remember, I gave you a chance. You were talking, and I actually told you there was somebody who was ahead, a man who was ahead of you to talk, and I was going to give you a chance and read your comment, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you go to a meeting, and if everyone here starts talking, for sure, if everyone here starts talking, will we be having a meeting to talk?
So I was still waiting for my chance, and I saw it wasn't coming, and
I want to,
I just got.
I want you to go and think. I would be very honest. This is I've taught for 20 years, but this is how bad it can get. And I think that is not what Strasmo wants of us. I actually muted you because you were interrupting, because I knew I was going to give you a chance to talk. Ultimately, I gave you a chance to talk. But now, when you write like this, surely you are actually saying I'm a dictator. Is that correct? You know who's a dictator?
No. There's already like a hand up in the chat, and the person is still not able to talk because you're addressing the same issue, giving the same excuses, and we want to move on to the next thing so that we know if this is a real briefing or a discussion. You know?
Well, I leave it to be answered by your colleagues.
Okay.
Your opinion is not superior than others. I've actually opened an email from some of your colleagues, right? So I think instead of frustrating each other, let's do it this way. Shannon, sorry, I had promised I was giving you a chance. And then Montana, so that we can conclude. For sure, need to rush home. Yes.
Okay, so for me, I think the problem is miscommunication between now the faculty and the students, because as to what the dean had said, because even the the class rep has a screenshot of what he sent her about the industry talks, and what we are getting from you is something a bit different. So I think just a way to solve the whole issue will be us and the dean and you being in the same meeting, so you can just iron out the whole issue instead of going back and forth. I think that would help. Yeah.
Oh, Shannon, let me actually ask. Did the dean say the unit is dropped in that email?
No, in the screenshot, he said we will not be having the web security itself. We'll be having industry talks. That's what he highlighted. He said
Good.
we'll no longer be having web security, but we'll be having it's been replaced with the industry talks.
Good. And then that's why for me, I was actually trying to say this industry must be done in context, isn't it? So I am just imagine just a simple illustration, not that that's what it really. Suppose I say talks industry talk by a matatu operator. Is this not there are so many that you can actually do. So for me, that's what I was actually trying to say, that there are those of us who actually say, this industry talk nothing. I'm actually saying they are actually good. So for me and the deal, we are together on that one. It's industry experiential. In fact, it's industry experiential. When you are going to see it in the your certificate, it will not be industry talks. It will be industry something, industry experience or something. There's a name there, industry experiential. All right. So we are together on this. So
Oh,
that one we are 100% together. So for me, where I have a problem is people not attending class, which now or DRS actually say that okay, maybe the communication was that the class is in what in the on Friday. So you see, the faculty manager was not aware. I was not aware. I need to confirm to you, I was in that class myself.
okay. So the issue was just about not attending class and the timing, because that's what we had gotten the communication that we'll do it on Friday. Yeah, we'll
Yes,
have the class on Friday, not on Wednesday. That's why we did not attend.
yeah,
Yeah.
because for me, this is week 5, and then time is going, then people will be affected, and then they'll say, why didn't you tell us? You see, that's my concern. I'm concerned like a parent. I pay you. I'm a parent. And that's why I've taken it very personal, the way Solomon has actually said. I mean, I'm sure you cannot go tell your dad, listen.
Yeah, true. Okay, now I get it. So I think now we're on the same page, because if that's the issue, it was the issue about the timing, then I guess we're on the same page now.
Yeah, so for me, I want to know whether is it again that there's a problem, because I thought we had finished, so that class is going on. Because for me, guys, I want you to finish and finish well. Yeah, so that then
No.
but then there are those who are also raising further questions, which is what now I was like, no, this unit is there, because in fact there came many other issues, which is I thought let me bring it here. We classify that this class is there. So I think, Shannon, thank you. Now you know, and everyone here is yes, that unit you are going to do, whatever name you are calling it, because you see others are calling it something, industry and what it's industrial experience. That is very important. So one of the things that therefore to deliver this is through industry talk.
Oh, okay. I think now the issue was with the class, with us. I think we are not gotten what you're trying to say. We were thinking that it was still web security. I think now that's why we had the long discussion. But now I think you've elaborated on it, and we're on the same page.
Yeah, just that in fact I'll give you an example for free. And I listened to Persil very well last time. For sure, one of the person I wanted to invite to come and talk is the guy who's dealing with all these what we are calling cyber security issues, modern cyber security issues, and we need those ones for the country. Who's in charge of the African region? First year. That's what I thought. You will come and talk about these things. You understand these things. That is those are the things that we plan. Yeah. So nothing really, that's why I say it has to be done in context. In fact, is based in here is in charge of African region. So then you understand, the future dilemmas we have is in how do we protect our what our information and resources. I think that if you understand it that way, then we should not have problem whether the unit is yeah, then it is yes. Thank you. So I think that's clarified. Motanya, Motanya, I can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah, maybe you can increase your voice a little bit.
I think Shannon has said it all. I think the problem here is that there is
Sorry,
a lot of
hear you, please. I'm using my yes. Now you went down totally. maybe in sorting out is, so we have agreed, let's go to class, let's actually do those um, industry, it's called industry experience. I can even show you the email, how it's called. So there will be a name, it call it, the transcript you cannot occur industry talks. So now I think we all agree, right? So sometimes we fight in the house, but it doesn't mean we are enemies. So even someone who's mad at me, he gets to reflect on actually. We move together as a single. So let's therefore settle this. So you've had the classes scheduled to Friday. I would call them the class reps. Please share the whatever, how do you call them, the credentials. I will personally, am personally following this because I'm interested. I don't want you guys to come December, then you are like, oh, there's one unit remaining. No. So that's my interest. So agreed. So those other emails, queries about what I think, let's sort it that way. For the progress running those units with repeated, we call it what, content, I take note of that. We review it moving forward. So I think we can, but the class rep, to conclude in summary what we have agreed. Please summarize. Let's.
Okay, so what we have agreed is that we'll have the unit is was replaced by the industry talks in relation to web security, and then it will be on Friday only. Okay, for this week it will be on Friday, but from next week it will always be on Wednesday. Yes, I think that's what we've concluded.
Yes. Yeah, but the unit is not called industry talks. At least that one. Is that correct?
Yeah, okay. When I spoke to Yvonne about this, she told me that they have not yet come up with a name for it.
No,
But
no, the name I tell you. Can I give you the name?
yes, please.
Yes, in a minute actually, because it's important. These things are sorted. Because at the end, it me will be asked maybe that did you tell this student the right things? Maybe I can be asked that one. So uh, in a minute. I'm just getting because I know it has been agreed, it has been spoken. Okay, unless it changes, it's called industry seminars. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. You see, the seminars could be talk and what and what. That's yeah. So we can't put talks in in your whatever in a certificate. I mean, okay, the way of delivery. Yeah. So for now, that's the name, industry seminars. But then, if there will be any further change, yeah. So it's important that is the case. So I think with that, I think we are all on board. And if there, I think there is the other class rep on the other side. The other class rep for the other group is called who? If you are in class, you can also say something.
It's me.
Yes, Rebecca.
Um, yes, I'm on the class rep for group A.
Yes. So do you think we have concluded issues that could have been very emotive?
I feel like no. I still feel like there has to be further discussions because personally, from the meetings we had with the dean, I felt like I got the impression that the unit was either being removed or being completely restructured. So yeah, I still feel like there still has to be further discussion on that with the class involvement.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So okay. You, I hear you. Oh, okay. The other group thinks the class, the unit was dropped, and then yeah, I think I wanted that's also you know, you can see for sure we listen. So I wanted to clarify it's not removed, that it's not dropped. I think we have clarified it is delivered that way. So different topics and such, but being dropped for sure no. But if you want a communication from the dean himself, I'll for sure give him that information. He can address to you, but I think uh, I've communicated what I know. The management board gave me a chance to come and talk to you.
Excuse me, sir.
Hmm.
How will these industry sessions be examined?
Yes, that one now the lecturer who is handling it further than I am. You see, when the lecturer gives you a course outline, we will specify how to examine it. So I usually we don't say from the management we don't tell somebody go examine like this. We give them the way to examine, but I could find out from him or I could tell him to explain to you how they will go out to examine.
Okay.
Okay. Gabriel, if you could conclude.
I was just going to ask the same thing Roseanne asked.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let me. I'll discuss with the guy who's and then he will be able to communicate on Friday. So I may not have answered everything, but I gave you a forum to ventilate your frustration and also at least to let you know that we are actually uh, uh, here to serve you. We might not have all the answers. We might not give you the exact answer you want, but that does not mean that we not care for sure. So thank you for this intensive discussion. So see you next week.